Yo guys, what's going on? Lucky Cheese 7 is back again to give you guys some Hiro Mashima content update. Oh my god. Last night's a big one. So, let me go ahead and talk about what was announced. If you could see on the screen right now, Dead Rock. Spring 2025 new print license, okay? By Hiro Mashima. The debut date is spring 2025. And I love the tagline here. The tagline here is like so on point. Would you risk to rule the world? Dive back into the imagination of best-selling manga creator Hiro Mashima. Fairy Tail Hey, where's the Rave Master recognition?
What is wrong with you?
Come on. Yo. That is disrespect right there. That's it. With a new fantasy adventure that pits the aspiring young denizens of hell against each other in a battle royale to claim the ultimate prize, Earth itself. Welcome to Dead Rock, the underworld's top education institution, and so on and so on. Basically, we're confirmed now. We are confirmed that Dead Rock is getting an official English release for print. I don't think anyone had in doubt we would eventually be getting Dead Rock for like official English like volume releases. It was just a matter of when are we getting it. If I had to pick a time frame, I want to say between March and May. And listen, if you thought we were just done with that by itself, we got more. We got much more to cover. Because for anyone that follows Hiro Mashima like on his Twitter, he does like the Twitter spaces every once in a while. It says Mashima teases, and this is what he has to say. I have finished writing the final installment of Eden Zero. I have a lot of outside work. That makes sense because he's working on, Pharmagia, which is an upcoming game. It's a little strange to say that it's done or having free time. I'll be watching a movie or playing a game and think, I'll have to draw something. But then I realize I don't have any more manuscripts for this week, and so on. I'm not as busy as usual, so, I wrote that thing, I tweeted a little while ago. It's time for work. I suppose I'm not supposed to post it yet, and what he basically shows right here, this was like a tease for the special chapter that came out. So, by all technicalities, this Twitter space happened before this week. I actually remember, because I was listening in on this, and granted, it was all in Japanese, so I wasn't able to pick up on what Hiro actually said. This little image, which he did kind of tease a while ago, that was the color spread that we got for the Fairy Tail special chapter. It's for work. I'm not supposed to post it yet, but I thought I'd share a bit, just a part. I can't announce whether it'll be used or not until a little later, and we come to find out eventually, yes, it's for the special one-shot. It's been a while since I've done a lot of work on a picture for Fairy Tail. I did some pictures of the characters without backgrounds, but that's just the characters themselves. It's been a long time since I've been able to draw a full-blown background. Now we get into the meat and potatoes, like the spicy details we've all been waiting for. That is regarding Eden Zero, on the ending. The writing hasn't finished. It seems like a typical ending for my manga. Please look forward to it. I think it's going to be a very good ending. And I will say this, okay? I liked the ending of Eden Zero. I did. I thought it was really decent. But there were a few things about the ending that did kind of leave me going
Are we being punked? I hate that.
My big brain theory on this is that whatever he didn't get a chance to cover in the magazine, there's a chance we'll get it in the volume. Which is why, unlike a lot of other people that are freaking out over the ending of Eden Zero, I'm the one optimist here that's like, when it comes to final volumes, Hiro throws in a couple things that we usually don't get. I mean, an afterward section is always guaranteed when it comes to Hiro Mashima, and that's been consistent since Rave Master. So, that's nothing new. But, with that said, I think with what Hiro is probably going to do for the volume release, he's going to throw in some bonus stuff that we didn't get in the chapter. And I think 100% that's going to make up for what happened with the actual magazine release of the final chapter. That's my guess. But then he also goes on to talk about Dead Rock. I'm working on a monthly project called Dead Rock, but I like to increase the number of pages there. I've recently been writing between 30 and 40 pages a month for Dead Rock, and that's been shown. It's been super consistent. And he says that's about half my monthly workload. It's not enough. I'm a little short, but I'll take a break. And I think, honestly, with how much stuff Hiro's been working on, in my opinion, deserves a break, okay? 26 years he's been consistently working. No breaks whatsoever. That should show you the dedication and passion that Hiro has. He is a monster whose will can't be broken. That is how I can describe Hiro. It's nuts. Then we get to the last bit of this. And we talked about this in one of the earlier videos that I did. It's Hiro Mashima's next series. Now, I thought this was going to be for his, fourth weekly serialized work. And technically, this is still a part of that. Okay? It's still a part of that, but his approach is different.
Say what?
I will write a new one. I'll get to the middle of nowhere a bit this time. And by this time, it's in quote setting. And be more careful. I think I'll start with a short story. Make a newcomer. And if it gets popular, I'll serialize it. So think about it like this. There are two terms you can look at when you say short story. Short story can refer to like a one-shot. I'm pretty sure that's what Hiro's referring to. Or you get a Jujutsu Kaisen situation where you had JJK0 first, and then after JJK0 ended, that's when Gege, used like the building pieces from JJK0 into building actual main series. It could be one of those approaches. How are we gonna go? If I have to take a betting guess, though, I'm pretty sure he's referring to one shot. I don't think it's good to have a serialized work just because of your name. And that says so much, okay? And it's an interesting approach that Hiro is taking. It's consistent with who he is as a mangaka. He never goes in with the same mindset with each new work. And it's been proven. Let's go back to Volume 3. You may not care about this, but I used a different approach for each of my series. And I'd like to tell you about that. For my debut series, Rave Master, I had actually worked out the whole series from start to finish by the time I finished the first half. I mean, he's still working out. But, of course, there were some details that got added in later. But the story was pretty solidly in place. And honestly, I don't think anybody can argue about that for Rave. Rave was, like I said, so far to date, Hiro's best. Best story, okay? It's a classic. On the other hand, my second series, Fairy Tail, I went in the opposite direction. And pretty much had nothing decided at all.
What?
The only thing that was predetermined was the hero's backstory. So from week to week, I didn't know what was going to happen next.
That's it. That explains everything.
And even then, when you look at what he did with Fairy Tail, as a story, actually kind of impressive how much of it actually narratively ties into it. Each of the arcs kind of lead into one another. That I do think is interesting. It's wow. He did that all by freelance. And then we get to this next part right here. In this series, Eden Zero falls somewhere in between. The story elements that are set in stone are jumbled together with the elements I've put on hold. I'm really appreciating the real-time feeling that comes from a weekly series. He knew all the plot points of Eden Zero, he just wasn't so sure how they were all going to connect. That's where you get the combination of Rave Master and Fairy Tail. As far as the plot points go, that's where he took the Rave Master mindset. But how each of them connect is where he took the Fairy Tail approach, which is kind of winging it. And for the most part, I think we can all agree that it was kind of a double-edged sword. For most of the story, I think it worked out perfectly. But I think you could also tell there are some elements within Eden Zero that he could have probably refined. But I think for what Eden Zero was, and what it turned out to be in the end, I would still say to this day that Eden Zero was his second best. Easily, okay? Easily his second best series. And that's consistent with who he is as a person. each approach, like for each new series, he takes a different approach.
Let me stand here. Yes, I can see that now. Yes.
Now, let's jump back into what he said once again with his next upcoming series. It's not going to be like a mesh between two series. A series that doesn't have like any plan whatsoever, or a series that he has all mapped out. This one, he's saying, okay, I'm going to make a short story. If it gains the traction that it gets, I'll move forward with it. And that, it's a really, really fascinating idea. A very fascinating approach for Hiro. And honestly, as a mangaka, as a writer, I think it's also interesting how he also mentioned, I don't think it's good to have a serialized work just because of your name. Now, why does that sound so familiar?
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
Getting back to what Hiro was saying, like a newcomer, I want to be recognized for my ability before I get a serialization. Can you guess the name of the protagonist? Because it's already a season. Him saying that alone, can you guess the name of the protagonist? Eden Zero just ended. Keep that in mind, okay? Eden Zero just ended. This man already has the name of his protagonist in mind.
You didn't.
He did say it was a season. And we've had 3 protagonists so far, okay? You have Haru, which means spring. Natsu is summer. Shiki means 4 seasons. Now that I think about this, because he did kind of tease them. If we look back at Heroes Chapter 5, okay? This panel right here says so much. Haru and Natsu both say, what happened to Aki and Fuyu? And for those of you that don't know, Aki means autumn. Fuyu means winter. Given that, there's only 2 names left. There's autumn and winter. Aki and Fuyu. And I know a lot of people want to say, didn't we technically already go for Aki and, like, Monster Soul? Technically speaking, yes, we did. But keep this in mind. Shiki was used in another Hiro Mashima, like, short story too. And that was Monster Hunter Arise. You had a character, like the main character in that series was also named Shiki. So, keeping that in mind, it doesn't rule out the fact that Aki would not be used. If I had to take a guess, whether or not we get Aki or Fuyu, I think it's 50-50. It's 50-50. And the fact that, again, he's teasing us right now. He says, can you guess the name of the protagonist because it's already a season? Aki or Fuyu are the only 2 names he has yet to have as protagonist names for his mainline story. So, it's one of the 2. 100%. That said, though, the last part of this Twitter space ends off with this. I can't write anything but fantasies. It'd be absolutely impossible to write a sports manga about team competitions. Soccer, baseball, basketball, and so on. I can't do that kind of thing. I can't even do romantic comedies either. And overall, fascinating. Overall, you guys, that is pretty much all I have to say when it comes to this discussion video regarding Hiro Mashima. How do you guys feeling about this? About, 1, the news for Dead Rock getting its official English release. And also, one more thing I forgot to point out here. Dead Rock Volume 3 and Eden Zero Volume 33. Dead Rock Volume 3 releases August 7th. And that's going to be the same day that Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Volume 18 comes out. Then the following week after that, August 16th, we get the final volume of Eden Zero, which is Mashima's month, okay? This is the month of Hiro. With that being said, you guys, that is pretty much all I have to say when it comes to this discussion video regarding Hiro Mashima's Twitter space discussion, Dead Rock getting its official English release. That's pretty much all I gotta say. I'm LuckyRave. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Hiro Mashima content, be it Dead Rock, be it Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, and of course, more Eden Zero content. And I know a lot of people are going to think, well, the manga's done. But the anime, that's a whole different topic altogether. But Like I said before, guys, that's all I gotta say. I'm LuckyG7. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Hiro Mashima content, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.